Alright, so, beautiful day today. What is it, like plus something? What am I getting up here? Showing +8 on the thermometer. I'm not sure if that's an accurate reading or not, but it is a gorgeous day. Spring is finally here, and I'm getting a little antsy because I want to play in the dirt. So, but hey, we got this, right? It'll do until May. So yeah, so it smells like garlic in here because of these garlic plants. So last night was an interesting night. We had an older gentleman over for dinner, and I'm gonna say he's in his 70s. Not really sure how old he is. Probably late 60s, early 70s. So old Sicilian man who seemed very depressed, and it's sad to see people at that age. You know, because you hope that they've lived a nice, happy life, and I mean, I know that's just fantasy, right? Not everybody has, you know, a wonderful life that they live. But you always hope that people find happiness, especially in later years of life when, you know, you have the time to reflect and wonder whether or not you've done everything that you've hoped to accomplish. And so yeah, so it was interesting. It was a little depressing. And not because I was looking at my life and thinking, oh, you know, there's a lot that I haven't accomplished, and it was more or less him having regrets, him looking back and thinking and knowing that the things that he did in life, he should have made better choices, he should have treated people better, and it was sad. It was sad because it made me realize that, you know, for some people, they never understand the concept of treating people fairly and, you know, with kindness until it's pretty much too late. So I'm not sure how long his wife had left him. By the sounds of it, it had been years and years, but I guess at this point in his life, he was just realizing he's alone. And had he been a better husband, had he been a better person, and not been so selfish about things that he had done in his life, he would probably still be with his wife. And it's a pretty shitty realization to have to come to at the age that he's at, knowing that, you know, he doesn't have anybody, as he said last night. He does have, from what I gathered in our conversation last night, he does have a daughter, so it's not like he doesn't have anybody. He does have family. But, I mean, we all know it's a little different when, you know, the love you have for your kids and the love that you would have for a partner. So, what I just, you know, felt last night for this man was, felt sorry for him. But I also thought, karma, right? Is that horrible? It probably is horrible. But my thing is like, how could you expect... Why do people expect people to stay in their life when they treat them like shit? You know? And that just doesn't have to be a partner, right? That just doesn't have to be somebody that you're romantically and intimately involved with. That could be anybody. That could be your family, you know, friends. If they're going to be toxic people, why do we feel the need that we have to accommodate these people? I don't think we do. I mean, there was, you know, a point in my life where I just said, I'm not dealing with this crap anymore, and until people smarten up and mature, you know, maybe we'll revisit this relationship later down the line, but I don't have regrets about it. I don't regret making that decision, because that decision enabled me my sanity. So I'm not one of those people where I think blood is thicker than water, or just because you are related by blood that, you know, anything can be said and done to you and you should just roll over and take it. No, not at all. I've always been a firm believer your family should treat you a lot better than strangers. And I would never allow a stranger to treat me, sorry, a stranger, I don't think that came out right, to treat me like shit. And I certainly am not going to allow family or friends to treat me like shit. I'm at a point in my life where you want to be my friend, this is who I am, this is how I act. I'm going to treat you with respect. I expect respect in return. And if you can't afford that, you know, if you can't afford to give that respect to somebody, then don't be surprised when they, you know, kind of, I don't know, write you out. And just because you're family doesn't mean you get a free pass. I mean, you know, we should be looking out for our families, right? So that's really kind of what I gathered last night. He just had a bunch of regrets, and he's getting to the time of his life where, you know, the partying and the drinking and possibly the cheating. I mean, he never mentioned that he cheated, but just by the way he was describing the way his life was, unfortunately, I have my opinions about stuff like that, and I could clearly see that he possibly cheated as well. Just because of the lifestyle that he was going on about. He just didn't seem to be the type of person to really respect the relationship that he was in. So, that being said, I just thought it was a sad, depressing evening. And it just made me think about, you know, I mean, I'm in my early 40s, and I just don't want to be that depressed in 30 years, you know, or 35 years. I want to look back at my life and think I had a fantastic life. I tried to do the best I could, and I tried to treat people with respect. And yeah, I just got a little depressed last night. I'm not going to lie. But that being said, you know, I'm hoping that that maybe he understands that, you know, we're here, I guess, if he needs to talk, and, you know, reaching out a friendship to an older person, you know, it's kind of nice to have those relationships with people of that age, because things were different in their time. You know, the way they thought, you know, the wife was there to serve them, and they could just pretty much do whatever they want. And we're obviously in different times. Thank God for that, because I kind of grew up in that household, you know, where the men were the men. You don't ask them to do anything outside of manly stuff, which is bullshit. Let's get honest here. Let's all work together. Things seem to progress a little bit better, you know, when you work together, and there's less resentment towards people, and, you know. So anyway, that's what I took from last night. Missy again made a fantastic meal. She made salmon, she made pasta, just bread and olives. Oh, it was delicious. So, I mean, I don't want to take away from the fantastic meal that she made, but I tell you, man, just having a fantastic dinner like that and listening to the negativity and the regret coming from this old man, it just kind of put a damper on things. So, and hey, I'm not saying that, you know, we need to be happy all the time. I understand that, you know, sometimes we have depressing days. We have bad days. I mean, I've had them. I still kind of have them. Obviously not as frequent as they used to be, because I've learned to deal with a lot of stuff. But, you know, I just hope that people, you know, get the help that they need, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Live your life knowing that your actions have consequences, whether they're good or bad. I mean, what's the saying? With every action, there's an equal reaction. So if you're going to be a shitty person, that shit's going to come at you at some point. So that's really all I wanted to say about last night. Yeah. So okay. So from that, we'll we'll go on to I think some garlic. All right. So I'm going to cheat here. How I make my holes. So I'm not sure how many. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all I'm doing, got my solo cups, got a drill. I'm just going to make some holes. Just find it's easier doing it with the drill. Okay, so that's done. So yeah, so I'm just going to be using a triple mix. Kind of ran out of potting soil. So all I'm going to do is fill these cups up. Yeah. So we'll get to doing that. Okay, so all I did was fill up the solo cups, and so like before, we're just gonna kind of pat them down just to fill up any air pockets. That way the roots have some firm soil that they can root into. And as before, I'm gonna pre-water these. Actually, it shouldn't be too bad with because we're just transplanting them. I'll water them afterwards. Found my nifty little hole maker. So yeah, I'm just gonna go deep enough to where, you know, we're not gonna be forcing the root in. So however long your roots are, and then the bulb obviously has to be under the soil. Maybe a little bit of the stem as well. Kind of just put it in there. Oh, I just covered the hole. Yeah, just stick it in there. And just cover it up some. Voila. And I'll leave these in here till they're ready to go in the ground. So like I said, normally, man, it's really garlicky. Normally made 2-4 weekends. Okay, so they're all in there. Just gonna add some water. I labeled them garlic. So yeah, we'll just water them as soon as I can find where I stuck. So an interesting little tidbit that I found out over the past few days is that here in this city, it is not illegal to grow food in your front lawn or on your front lawn, in your front yard. I know in a lot of places they have a bylaw or homeowners association that prohibits people from actually growing food on their front lawn, which I think is BS. Because if that's the only place that you possibly may have to grow food, I don't think that should be denied. So, like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. In this city, we are allowed to grow food on our front lawn. So, in saying that, that's my plan this year. I'm gonna be making a couple of teepee type trellises. I think I'm gonna start some zucchini, cucumber, any sort of climbing or, well, vining plant that I could train to climb the trellis. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So my hope is try to encourage the people around this area to maybe start growing something. If you know where we are, if you walk down our street, you'll notice that there's not very many trees around here, and there's not very many gardens around here, and I just think that's so sad. We used to have a lot of trees in this city, and what is it, the ash borer beetle, I believe it was, the Japanese beetle. I don't know if those are the same thing. But they've killed a lot of our trees, and a lot of the very large, mature, maples that used to be in this area are dying or have died. They've been cut down, and people just haven't bothered planting anything, to replace them. And I'm not sure if it's just, the generation. It's getting a little warm here. I'm not sure if it's just a generational thing. People don't see the point of it, since they can just go to the store and buy their produce or whatever. But I think it's an art that we're losing as a society. Like, we really need to learn how to grow our own food. And again, I'm no professional. It's just something I enjoy doing. Like, to know that you can go in your backyard and pick your garlic and pick your onions and pick your tomatoes, and you know where it's coming from. I just think it's fantastic. So I encourage people, if you have a front lawn that gets the sunlight, because your backyard isn't getting the sunlight, start growing some food in your front yard. You can make it look nice. It doesn't have to, look unkept or whatever. So yeah, so that's where that goes. Yeah, so I guess, one of my projects this summer, well, it's gonna have to be soon anyway, is building those trellises. So there's a couple of designs that I had in mind, and that's just a matter of getting it together and setting them in place and stuff like that. So yeah, it should be interesting. I want to see what people's reactions are, and I've had some people comment, because I had posted this on our community Facebook page, and I had a couple of comments saying, "Oh, people are gonna steal your food," and I don't care. I mean, if you need it, it's food. Just don't destroy my plants, right? Take it. It would be nice if we encourage people to share, to grow, develop a sense of community again, because, man, are we ever losing that sense of community, I tell you. Technology, right? I mean, I'm using it right now, but technology is... I had hoped, the dawning of the internet would have brought people closer together, and what it seems to be doing is creating fractions. And, I'm only going to talk to you because you believe what I believe, and, but I don't think that's the way to go. And I'm guilty of it. I'm not going to say, I'm not guilty of it. I am guilty of it. I get into those situations on Facebook, right, where you start arguing with these strangers about, different ideals. And it's like, your ideology may be different, but is it wrong? I mean, unless you're sitting there, like, calling for the death of certain groups of people, I'm going to say you're wrong. But, if you believe that the government should cut back on spending for our healthcare, are you wrong in believing that? In my opinion, you are, but that doesn't mean you're wrong, right? There's just certain things that I'm passionate about, and I've been trying very hard not to get into those discussions with people on the internet, because really, who are these people to me? You're never going to change somebody's mind on the internet. And the only reason I say that is because there are too many other people reading those comments, and they don't want to look like they're small-minded, or that they've been told, or owned, or whatever term you want to use, right? So it's very rare if people actually come out and say, you know what, you're right, or you know what, I never thought about it that way. But I tell you, when those people do come out and say that, and I've caught myself a few times, saying, you know what, I never thought about it like that. Those are the people that want to learn, and those are the people that want to develop, mature as a person, and I think that's what's important, is once you learn something new that you never thought about, when it comes to your ideologies, is whether or not you can take that information and what you can do with it, not just dismiss it. You should be able to take that information and either research it, see whether or not you agree with it through the research, not just through personal opinion. And I think that's where we're losing things. It's all about personal opinion and not based on fact anymore. So yeah, kind of got off topic there. But what all I was trying to say is community. we need it. We need more of it. You know, there was a saying, not sure people even know it anymore, but at one point, you know, there was a saying, and I still believe it's relevant. It takes a village. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village just to raise people, to raise your, you know, your consciousness, your, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a people person, but I mean, even I understand that concept. So, and I shouldn't say I'm not a people person. I'm very particular about the people I associate with, and that's because I don't like drama. And that's a whole different topic on its own. I guess that relates to what we opened up with earlier when it comes to regret and drama and everything else. Understand that your actions, your drama, they will have lifelong consequences, whether they're good or bad. So try to make the right choice, and try to make the right choice that is the least offensive, the least damaging to other people. I guess really that's all I wanted to get out on this video, along with transplanting my garlic. So with that being said, we'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.